between Dr. G and Sweet Tea has really caught the attention of fans. The situation between these two seemed to escalate quickly, and many viewers have expressed concerns about the behavior they saw, wondering if Dr. G disrespected Sweet Tea and if gaslighting played a role in their conversation. Let's dive into this heated exchange and break down what happened, what the public is saying, and what this means for the future of the show. The argument between Dr. G and Sweet Tea was caught on camera, and from the clip that made it to the Bravo Shade Room, it seemed as though things got pretty tense. In the clip, we saw Sweet Tea being told by Dr. G that she was naive and that her actions weren't helping the situation. Sweet Tea, visibly upset, responded by asking Dr. G what she had done wrong. Dr. G, however, insisted that it was her fault, adding more pressure to the conversation. He even said, "Don't make me go off." It seemed like there was some manipulation in the air, making viewers question whether Sweet Tea was being gaslighted in the moment. Gaslighting is when someone manipulates another person into doubting their own perception or reality, and this behavior can be incredibly harmful in relationships. From what we saw in the video, it looked like Dr. G was shifting the blame onto Sweet Tea, making her question her actions and her role in the disagreement. This isn't the first time that fans have questioned Dr. G's communication skills, and this altercation only added fuel to the fire. Now, before we go deeper into the situation, it's important to acknowledge that we only saw a snippet of what happened. Reality TV shows are heavily edited, and we might not have seen the full context of the conversation. What we did see, however, was troubling for many viewers, and it raised concerns about how Dr. G communicated with Sweet Tea. But before we jump to conclusions, let's take a look at what some of the other cast members and fans have said about this situation. Quad, who's been through her own relationship drama in the past, expressed her concerns on social media, saying that the episode was triggering for her. She mentioned that no matter what Sweet Tea said, the cycle of behavior in this situation seemed to continue. Quad's comments seemed to reflect her own frustrations with Dr. G's actions, and many fans agreed with her assessment. However, there's another layer to this. Quad herself has faced accusations of gaslighting and manipulating situations in the past, so her commentary on Dr. G's behavior didn't sit well with everyone. Some viewers believe that Quad is using Sweet Tea's situation to draw attention to her own grievances with Dr. G, and that she may not be as sincere in her concern as she claims. After all, Quad's history with Dr. G has been complicated, and it's clear that there's some underlying tension between the two of them. Many feel that Quad is simply looking for an opportunity to criticize Dr. G and make him the villain. But there's a question of whether she's truly concerned about Sweet Tea's well-being or if she's using the situation to her advantage. On the other hand, Dr. Heavenly, who's also part of the Married to Medicine cast, posted her own thoughts about the situation. She made it clear that she didn't think Sweet Tea was to blame for what happened, and in her usual dramatic style, Heavenly sided with Dr. G, stating that Sweet Tea wasn't innocent in the matter. Some fans felt that Heavenly's comments were a bit dismissive of Sweet Tea's feelings, while others agreed with her assessment that Sweet Tea needed to take responsibility for her actions. This dynamic between the women on the show has always been complicated, but the way that Sweet Tea and Dr. G interacted seemed to show a deeper issue at play. There's no denying that there are some serious communication problems between the two, and Sweet Tea's feelings of being manipulated and disrespected are valid. But we have to ask, is Dr. G really gaslighting Sweet Tea? Or is this just a case of two people not being able to communicate effectively? Let's take a closer look at the way Sweet Tea has been portrayed on the show. In previous seasons, she has been open about the struggles she's faced, including her relationship with Dr. G. There have been moments where she has talked about feeling like Dr. G has not supported her, and this recent incident seems to reinforce those feelings. On the other hand, Dr. G's behavior has been criticized for being controlling and dismissive at times. Some fans believe that his approach to Sweet Tea is condescending, and that he doesn't take her feelings or perspective seriously. Whether or not he's intentionally gaslighting her, the fact remains that their communication is problematic. There's also a question of whether Dr. G's actions are part of a larger pattern. Fans have pointed out that this isn't the first time Dr. G has been involved in a tense situation on Married to Medicine. His communication with other cast members has often been described as being somewhat abrasive, and his ability to manage conflict has been called into question. This situation with Sweet Tea is just one example of his difficulty in navigating sensitive topics, and it's clear that he has some work to do when it comes to improving his communication skills. The issue of gaslighting in relationships is a serious one, and it's important to acknowledge the impact that it can have on someone's mental and emotional well-being. If Dr. G is indeed gaslighting Sweet Tea, it could be a sign of a much deeper issue within their relationship. However, it's also possible that this is simply a matter of poor communication and misunderstanding between two people who are struggling to see eye to eye. As we dive deeper into this conversation, it's important to consider the larger context of Married to Medicine and how these dynamics play out on screen. Reality TV often exaggerates situations for drama, and we may not be getting the full picture of what's happening behind the scenes. That being said, the way Sweet Tea and Dr. G interact on screen has left many fans concerned about the health of their relationship and the way they treat each other. Ultimately, we have to ask, what can be done to improve communication between Dr. G and Sweet Tea? How can they address the issues in their relationship and work toward a healthier dynamic? These are questions that only they can answer. But as viewers, it's important for us to acknowledge the complexity of the situation and not jump to conclusions based on a short clip. We've seen how editing can change the way a situation